On our play for this week, we finally got a GTA 6 release date update. Everyone's excited. Not really, but kind of, sort of. We'll talk about it. We react to the latest Black Myth WuKong WeGame Event trailer. Looks pretty sharp. Hmm. From a Lego Horizon game to a Total War Star Wars game, we will talk about all the games that leaked this past week, and it's a bunch of them. Assassin's Creed Shadow dropped the trailer, and the internet is mad they get to live out their dreams of being a samurai as a black person. They'll get over it. We have more Xbox games coming to PlayStation per the Latitude Operation or Operation Latitude. All this and more on Season 8, Episode 20 of Press X Start Gamers Digest. All right. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. I can't wait for people to be so upset about the Yasuke thing to find out he's a great character. Or they just go with the other character because she's more Assassin's Creed. But we'll talk about that. I am joined by
John MF Ross.
What does the MF stand for?
I don't know, dad extraordinaire, whatever. I don't know.
Perfect. All right. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video podcasting against the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday. Today's Sunday. We made it. When we can make it because life is hard.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, your best friend's chair, couch, sofa, TV, I don't know, their devices. Go ahead, just do that. Shoehorn. There you go. If you don't know what a shoehorn is, you're real young. And also,
you probably need your parents to buy GTA6 for you.
All right. And if you want, you can join a conversation by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. All right. With that out the way, let's jump into the gaming news. Number 1. GTA 6 release date narrowed to fall 2025 amid questions about delays. This comes to us from IGN by way of... I went up, so it go down. Kat Bailey. So, during an interview with IGN, Strauss Zelnick, who is the CEO of Take-Two, says that GTA 6 will be released in fall of 2025, not 2022, 2025. That's pretty much it. That's where he left it. He said they're confident that they're going to hit that launch date. So
October.
Oh, October. Yes.
I'm calling it October.
Oh, you're calling out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the historical release dates. GTA 1, November 97. London expansion that came out 2 years later in April. We ain't gonna count that. GTA, they had 2 London. Which one did I play? Whatever. GTA 2, October 22nd, 99. Wow, they released 3 GTA things in 1 year. We will never see that again. GTA 3, October 22nd, 2001. Vice City, October 27th, 02. GTA Advance. Nobody talks about that. Nobody. October 26th. Wow. That came out the same day as San Andreas. I wonder what the sales numbers is like there for that. Whatever. San Andreas, October 26th, 04. Trilogy, October. Vice City Stories, October 06. GTA 4, Unprecedented, April 29th, 08. Lost in a Damned Expansion, February 17th, 09. The Ballad of Gay Tony, one of the best expansions.
Oh yeah.
October 09, Chinatown Wars, we don't talk about that. GTA 5, September 17th, 2013. GTA Online, technically not a whole new GTA, but October 1st, 2013. The trilogy that just recently came, well, shit, it ain't recently anymore, it's 2021. November 11th, 2021. 80% of the time, almost 90% of the time, I don't feel like doing the numbers right now. It has come out in October. We shouldn't be surprised if it comes out in October.
I mean, I think that's a really good guess. Like my first guess would probably be like a November, but like based off of those release dates that you just read out, like October does make a lot of sense.
Never compete or stepped on They could.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, they could
That's
force
true.
people to
That's
choose.
true.
But
Guarantee Call of Duty will move that date. Guaranteed.
yeah, that'll be a no. Let me not bring that into this.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, that'll be a showstopper. For real. No, they're gonna give people time to digest the game and
Yeah,
then jump into Call of Duty.
online. Oh, call.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
so I would say
do
Call
you?
of Duty is gonna come out like mid to late November. Then go ahead, I'm
Okay,
listening.
but do you think they're going to split off the single player and online play with
Yeah,
GTA
they
6
they have
again?
to. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this
Okay.
is just like considering how big GTA 5 was last time.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see, what did I say last time? It came
I think that
out less
was
than a month
September.
later and it was
Oh, that's the
buggy as
online. Yeah, yeah,
hell. Yeah, it came out 2
yeah,
weeks later.
yeah.
This has so much more to go wrong for it as far as like online.
Mm-hmm.
Granted they have, you know, a bunch of experience doing this now, but
Right.
I would think people would want more than 2 weeks to digest all the scripted events and little pockets of just coolness that they have stuck in GTA 6.
Mm-hmm.
This has taken over 12 years to release. Between GTA 4 and 5, it was 5 years. 4 years if you want to count the
Oh wow.
DLC.
Yeah, I
I,
forget that there was a time when GTA games didn't take that long to create.
yeah, I highly
Ooh.
doubt they're gonna step on the toes of the work that has been done for the past 12 years so people can get their online fix. We'll get it. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna be 2 weeks later because then once again, also that's competing with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I would say give it a good 3 to 4 months.
Oh, you think it's gonna be that long?
Um,
I think the longest that they would hold off online, and again, like I'm agreeing with you that I think they're going to split single player and online, but I think the longest they would hold will probably be like a month because I feel
I doubt
like
that. I doubt that.
at that point, like
You
GTA
gonna
6
you
is going
gonna
to
beat
be
GTA 6 in a month?
no, me, no, no, no. But we have diehards that are going to be out there beating that game in like whatever 24-hour mark, 72-hour mark. But like, I feel like a month is a really, really long, especially when we all know that there is going to be an online mode.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people from the start talking about, "Oh, I want the online mode now. Why don't they have the online mode now? Is it broken? Oh my gosh,
Because
it's
I
terrible,"
want
or
you to
whatever.
enjoy the fruits of my labor that I've been working
No,
on
I
for the
totally
past
agree.
12 years. Like this has a larger footprint than
GTA 5.
5 San Andreas. Yeah, like
Mhm,
let the game cook. Let
mhm.
y'all are gonna be bitching for GTA 7 after 6 months. Like we don't have to consume games as fast as we do nowadays. This wasn't the case. I know I sound old. This wasn't the case 20 years ago. Like, I know we all have money now, but you get older, you have the money, but you don't have the time. When you're young, you
Time,
have
yeah.
the time, but you don't have the money. Like, you
Yeah.
got a game and you learned everything about that shit.
Mhm.
And
Nah,
then you
I
got the
hey,
next
man.
game for birthday, Christmas, whatever the hell it was, like, or sale.
Yeah. No,
Let
like,
let
I totally get it. Like, I think I think for them I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see exactly how it plays because there's still a lot of time between now and then. And then there's
mhm,
always the case that it could be delayed again because, like, I think originally it was supposed to be like earlier in 2025, but that was rumored. It wasn't an official thing.
yeah.
So them coming out saying fall is like not really a
I
delay,
think it
but it's
was
just
always
like,
fall.
yeah. I mean,
They
I wouldn't be
probably intended
surprised.
it to be fall of 2024, but I
Hmm.
think it was always gonna be fall looking at those historic dates.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope that we get to see at least
Matter of fact,
another teaser trailer in Summer Game Fest. I think that'd be really cool. But again, this is GTA. They can do
yeah.
whatever they want. Uh they don't need anything really. They can just put out a trailer and break the internet literally. But yeah, I mean,
So I'm gonna
we'll
put a
see.
date on it. I'm gonna say
Oh,
if it's
oh.
coming out on a Friday, either the 17th or the 24th, If it's gonna come out on a Tuesday, then the 14th or the 21st. Somebody stamp that.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. We got some confidence in this podcast. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Columbus Day. Why? Just cause they're gonna rename that game that day
Shows you how
GTA 6 Day.
insensitive DJ is, you folks. It's called Indigenous Peoples Day now. Keep up with
You're
progress,
right.
DJ.
You're right. Mind you, my calendar says both, and I went with the first thing. I'm terrible. I apologize, guys. Especially me being a person of color. It's
He
terrible.
probably still says the Washington Redskins. No, I'm joking.
Funny
I love
enough, I had to correct my brothers over that, like when they first changed, and it was a whole thing. I'm like, come on, guys, they're also changing up the name, so you can
yeah.
do the same. But yeah, anyways, number two, we are getting into the games that just leaked. Ugh. New Mario Party game reportedly in development for Nintendo hardware. This comes to us from Twistedvoxel by way of. Ooh, I think actually I remember this person. Yep, Ali Bari.
Mhm.
So this is pretty quick. A brand new Mario Party title is currently in development for Nintendo hardware based on the latest report. According to Twitter/X insider Midori, who has previously leaked information on titles in development at Sega and Atlas, an unannounced game codenamed Banquet is currently in development at Nintendo. ND Cube and an additional developer known as Smile Boom are working together on this project. So, if you don't know who ND Cube is or Smile Boom, ND Cube has previously worked on Mario Party titles, and Smile Boom has done support on both Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars. So
Mm.
that's pretty easy to just 1 plus 1 equals they're making a Mario Party game for Nintendo Switch too. So that makes sense. There's also, it's not really important. There was some talks about like how Nintendo's talking about the Switch 2 internally, and they're essentially calling it the new Switch or Switch 2. So
Jesus
it's probably
Christ.
going to be
They
one
need
of
to hire
those.
somebody new in their naming department. What the what's going on, Nintendo?
Yeah, it's uh I don't know, man. But yeah, this is a new Mario Party game. What's your excitement levels for Mario Party?
I bought Super Mario Party to play with my wife back in
Hmm.
2018. I didn't get the newer one, Superstars, but I mean, they're cool. I've just never played it in a large party. Like I've never
Yeah, played it with a group of people.
let me be stereotypical here for a second.
Uh-oh.
I don't know a lot of black people that play Super Mario Party. Mario Party. Yeah. And I'm sure we do. I'm sure we do,
Yeah, of
but
course. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not like
yeah. Yeah.
I just hung around people that played Madden and 2K and
Mhm. Mhm.
pretty much it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so I
I
mean,
mean, and I will say, as a person who has
Mhm.
played Mario Party, I absolutely hate the game. And it's not like I don't even hate it because of what it is. I just hate it for what it does to people.
Mhm.
And it's just like because like
Oh, like
I've
Monopoly.
played.
It just turns people into yeah.
Yeah, like savages. It's like, why are we doing this? We're all friends here. Like, what's happening? Like, okay, how about we just chill out, switch games up, play Smash Brothers maybe, and then like, keep it moving. But yeah, I this is actually interesting. Again, I'd have to see it to see like really what it's about for me to get invested into this, but
Yeah.
this is cool. This is cool.
I mean,
Number 3.
by the
Mhm.
time I'll just add this, by the time it actually comes out or whatever, I don't know. Maybe my daughter and my wife, I'll have a family to play it with. But before, I mean, I didn't
That's a
know
good
people
point.
that play that type of shit. So
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. All right. Number 3. Creative Assembly is developing a Star Wars Total War game. It's claimed this comes to us from Insider Gaming by way of Tom Henderson. So, a new report from DualShockers has claimed that Creative Assembly is developing a new Total War game based on the Star Wars universe.
horse.
According to the outlet's report, a total of 3 different Total War games are in development. The Total War Star Wars game, or whatever it will be called, will apparently be the second game of 3 to release, but it's unclear how long the game has left in development. So this is pretty cool. I find it interesting that like we really haven't had a Star Wars game like this before.
Hmm.
Actually, I feel like I've said that before, and Jordan corrected me by saying a game because Jordan is the Star Wars fan, Star Wars super fan here.
Goddamn
But
nerd.
but yeah, like I think this is a really really cool idea. Okay, yeah, he said Star Wars Empire at War mod, community mod, I guess. So I'm not
Hmm.
sure where that was based off of, but apparently there's been something like that before. And it was a mod, so doesn't really really count as a
Yeah,
game,
yeah, I
but yeah.
get
Yeah, so, like, I think this is really cool. I don't really got too much to say to this. I don't really play Total War games to begin with. This isn't really my bag of, like, RTS style games. Like, the farthest I've dipped into this would be, like, a Civilization, but, I don't even know if those are, like, the same games. I'm talking out my ass. I don't really know. But, yeah, I think this is a cool thing. I think this is a good, like, lateral move for the Star Wars property in total because I think this works really well with that whole empire thing that Star Wars has going for it. So
you. Yeah.
that's cool. This interests you at all?
No. You know damn well better than ask me about no Star Wars.
Okay. You're right. Number four. Lego and PlayStation are working on a new game called Lego Horizon Adventures. This also comes to us from Insider Gaming by way of Tom Henderson again. So this is a weird one. Lego and PlayStation are developing a new game, Lego Horizon Adventures. Last week, trademark finder Karukastis tweeted that Sony and Lego are soon to announce a collaboration of a well-known IP. At the time, Karukastis revealed the game, but as what seems to be obligatory for insiders these days, a vaguely tweet that the project was, quote, on the horizon. Speaking with sources, it was said that the game is essentially Horizon Forbidden West but Lego, and the game will have realistic graphics or whatever that means for a Lego game.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
this is this is interesting, and again, in part of this reporting,
mm-hmm.
we were supposed to get this announcement soon, which points to a PlayStation showcase or state of play. More likely a showcase because we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But this is interesting. But what's your thoughts on this?
They're gonna force me to play a Lego game, aren't they? If it's a Horizon jump. I don't know. Like, what do you do with the story here? Because like, has there been a Lego game of a game before? It's normally based on movies, ain't it?
That's a good question. Because they've done like Jurassic Park, they've done Star Wars. I think it was like a Lego Spider-Man game before.
Yeah, but it was still all based off of like
Yeah,
existing properties that existed in other forms of
yeah, you're
media
right. You're right.
or a Lego original story. Like this is
Yeah, I
unprecedented. Let me see. We got Lego Island, Lego Chess. Nah, that's the 90s. Let me see. Lego Racers, Bionicle, Lego Knights,
yeah,
Universe, Lego City, and then we started getting Ninjago.
Ninjago.
Wait, when did we start getting Oh, these are original games. Licensed properties. Here we
Yeah,
go. Harry Potter, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Batman. They had a Lego Rock Band? Didn't know that.
a
Lego
Lego
Harry
Rock
Potter.
Band. I didn't know that
Yeah,
either.
apparently.
Oh,
Pirates of the Caribbean,
okay.
Batman, Lord of the Rings, Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of IP stuff.
Yeah, but this is all book, movie, TV show, comic,
Yeah,
whatever. This would be interesting. I'm curious where they go. They had a Lego Fortnite. Oh yeah, Lego Fortnite.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we'll see how this goes. I'm curious.
Yeah, I agree. I think the best thing, not even the best. I think an option for them would be to, you know, this could just be like a side story for Aloy where she's just doing stuff because, like, we got the Forbidden West last
Burning
DLC. I
Shores.
forget the name of it.
Burning
Yeah,
Shores.
yeah, Burning Shores, where it's like that was a side thing that also progressed the story a little bit. But like, Aloy's just
This
out in the
can't be
woods, like,
canon because a lot of people are just gonna miss it completely just because of the aesthetic.
yeah,
I doubt
yeah.
that they put anything important story wise in there.
Yeah, and if they do,
If it is,
yeah,
if it is
yeah,
Horizon.
yeah. Like, yeah, they can do a thing where, like, whatever story bit is in this game, they can just echo it in the next Horizon game, or like, oh, actually, now think about
I
it, I
doubt
don't
they
even
would do
think they'll
that.
do that. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, they probably this probably just be an offshoot. Yeah, yeah. Because I think even looking at the title, like, well, if this is the official title, Lego Horizon Adventures, that gives that feels like more of like a theme ride kind of thing versus like, oh, this is a part of the
yeah.
Aloy story. So yeah, we'll see. We'll get more. Hopefully, we'll get more on this in the next couple weeks or so, because May is almost done and we're supposed to get a showcase before the end of May. So yeah, we'll see. Number 5, Toys for Bob could be gearing up for a new game announcement. This comes to us again from Insider Gaming by way of, again, Tom Henderson. This man is just knocking it out the park this week. All right.
Mhm.
So Toys for Bob website just updated to display just a new logo, which can hint that developers gearing up for an announcement. So this new logo, it looks like a tiki mask, but it is a gradient of like purple, pink, and like a light purple. So people immediately looked at this and like, oh, they're doing a Crash Bandicoot thing. But then the purple kind of calls to Spyro. So there's a lot of conversation happening around this one image where there's no text. The website that it points to is just a black screen with this purplish pink, light purple logo. And it's interesting. I think best case scenario, we get a Spyro and Crash like team up game in a way where it's like, I don't know what they'd be doing. I don't think they share any kind of enemy or anything like that. So I think all that would be new. They're working with Microsoft on this, so Microsoft could give them the keys to both IPs because they own Activision now.
Yeah.
So that's definitely possible. But yeah, what do you think?
They'll F it up somehow. They'll.
Did you play the last Crash Bandicoot game?
Yeah, it's time for something. It's about time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That game was rough, but I mean,
Oh, really? Oh,
most when I say rough, I mean as far as difficulty. But then looking back, I tried to
okay.
play Crash Bandicoot like 1 through 3. I think I had a trilogy or something.
Hmm.
They were all rough to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless, it's a matter of since Naughty Dog is no longer making them, it's a matter of are they gonna capture what made Crash Bandicoot what Crash Bandicoot was or Spyro was or whatever. Yes, you have
Yeah.
the property. Yes, you have all the stuff, but I mean, it's different when it's in the hands of somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good point. You know, they've made a Crash Bandicoot game before, so they're, at least they're familiar with the property.
Yeah,
But it is a thing of like, what do you do with these characters to
to
make
move it
a
forward.
fun and yeah. And like, I mean, I'm assuming just because of the news and what we're going to talk to again, like this is going to be a multi-platform game. This isn't going to be exclusive to Xbox because Xbox apparently is done with exclusivity.
Hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. But like, I think I think this is interesting. I'm not really a Crash fan. If anything, I'm a bit more of a Spyro fan than a Crash fan, but that's not really too much because I don't really mess with Spyro all that much either.
Yeah,
So I would have to, like, for me personally, watching this, it would have to do something crazy, like jump into a Gundam or something for me, like, oh yeah, let's go, let's do this. Or like, I guess a Crash Bandicoot can ride Spyro. That could be a thing that happens, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, maybe this gets. Hopefully, it might be too early to say like. Hopefully, we see something of this from Summer Games Fest.
mm,
I think it might be too early for that. But yeah, again, we'll see. Number 6. Number 6 is interesting. It's also kind of late breaking for us. Black Myth Wukong, the game about Sun Wukong, which is the Monkey
Goku.
King. If you
Yeah,
don't know who that, he's from the Journey of the West. I'm just saying words. If you have no idea what any of this stuff means, just Google any one of these things, and you'll get like a 20-minute long YouTube video explaining the whole thing that I sat and watched through because I was like, oh, this is fascinating. So yeah, Black Myth Wukong is a game based off of Sun Wukong, aka the Monkey King. And there was a WeGame event. I guess that's a Chinese led thing. I looked up WeGame events and I got nothing from it on my American Google search. So I don't know. But yes, we're gonna react to the trailer because the trailer looked pretty cool. All right. I should turn on the volume. I'll turn on the volume. So, a lot of the stuff we've seen Black Myth Wukong has been pretty much fighting in a lot of like boss battles. And the boss battles are insane. In this trailer, we're seeing a mixture, I think, of combat and a mixture of but me, are we into this game? I think it's cool, but we don't know what style of character actually in terms of it's gonna be like a flip kind of thing where it's like super difficult normal encounters, or are we expecting something like a Devil May Cry where it's like really heavy on the combo base, or are they gonna do a thing where it's like Sekiro, where it's like kind of in the middle, where it's actiony, but it's also pretty difficult to fall.
I don't feel like struggling with it.
Life is already hard, man.
Let me brute force my way. Or have some difficulty. I'll play on more. It is what
I'm
it
gonna go
is.
ahead and just pause that. I think I'm gonna just loop that real quick. Okay, it's gonna play. Yeah, so I think looking at the trailer looks really cool. It looks really interesting. Like a lot of the enemy encounters are pretty unique to this. Again, I think it's because it's delving into a Chinese mythology that we don't normally see in games.
Yeah.
So, they have new stuff to pull from us, like new stuff to pull from essentially. But yeah, when it comes to actual game and gameplay, I am pretty fickle about my like character action games. So I'm definitely keeping an eye out for this. I just if it's difficult, I think that's fine as long as it feels balanced. I felt like Elden Ring to me didn't really do a good job of feeling balanced at those low levels. It was very
I
much
mean,
so
I
like
don't think they intended to be.
yeah, I know. But I think like that was just that was my grading point, my grading point of the game where it's just
Mm,
like I feel like I have to go over there, grind to get like higher level, and then I can come back and like do this a bit more comfortably. And like I don't necessarily want that experience. I don't want that experience for Black Myth Wukong because I
yeah,
feel like also I don't think that's going to be the case because like this is like a character focused action game,
yeah,
if that makes sense. So I feel like they're gonna make it more
accessible.
accessible. Yeah, that's the right word. That's the right word. But yeah, I hope we get some. I hope this shows up at Summer Game Fest. I hope someone is able to sit and play this game and give an actual like hands-on preview of like what this game actually feels like.
What to
Because at
expect?
this
Yeah,
point,
yeah, yeah.
I don't think we've gotten anything of that. Like we've just seen a lot of like really cool looking trailers, but that's been about it. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited though. I'm excited though. All right. Okay. Well, before we jump into this whole Assassin's Creed hubbub, hey, you listener, how you doing? You doing good? That's great. Do us a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Do those three things. We greatly appreciate you doing that. And if you are also listening to us in podcast format, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever podcast thing you're using. Just leave us a review because that would also help us too. And we would appreciate that. And again, if you want, you can join our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. We have a good time there. And you can have a good time too if you join our Discord and have a good time with us. Yes. All right. Now that's out the way, let us jump into number 7. I gotta load this thing up. Give me 1 second. So number 7 is us watching and also talking about the Assassin's Creed Shadow cinematic reveal trailer. They dropped it this week. There was rumors from last year before, that the main character was going to be a African American samurai. I said African American. Wow, a African who happens to land in Japan by way of Portugal. He becomes a quote unquote samurai, and whatever. Like that's going to be the main brunt of Assassin's Creed Red or Assassin's Creed Shadows. So we get the trailer, and not everyone, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say everyone. The vocal minority on the internet essentially blew up because they were hurt that the main character one of the 2 characters that they can play as will be a black man as a samurai. And all of a sudden, everyone was, I'm gonna play a trailer now. All of a sudden, everyone became philosophers, became researchers, because they were like, Yusuke never existed, or Yasuke never existed. And like there's no evidence of him actually becoming a samurai. There's no evidence of him of doing any of this stuff. Like, why are we playing as this black man? And it's like, okay, one, there is evidence of him actually existing. There is like illustrations and portraits and stuff. Like Yasuke is
fake news.
The way right. Yasuke is essentially like a folk hero, like how we have Paul Bunyan or I don't know, Captain Planet. Like he's a folk hero. So it's just like, it's dumb. And then people also turn to like other Japanese people who are commenting on this, and it's just like, okay, yeah, they're commenting on it. They might not be okay, but like Americans aren't okay with a lot of things. What is that? It's not really like,
why they gotta put politics in my Japanese game?
right? So essentially, it comes down to people being mad that the Assassin's Creed samurai / ninja game, the only option to play as a samurai is a black person. And it's so ridiculous because we don't even have the game. We don't really have a preview to really know like what it's like playing as Yasuke. Like,
I mean,
be like one of the dopest characters.
We know what it's gonna be, man. It's
gonna
be Valhalla,
yes,
mixed with some stealth for
yes.
Naue or whatever her name is.
Yes, no, you're right. It, like I forget where I heard this from, but someone was like, it's wild that people are sitting complaining over maybe a 7.5 game, and I'm just like, geez. But yeah, okay, so now that that's out the way, we can actually talk about the trailer and like some of the things we see in the trailer versus like some of the things that they have already talked about. So as you see in the trailer, you have Yasuke, who is the samurai who is working under Nobunaga, and Nobunaga is essentially trying to bring Japan together. But by doing that, Nobunaga is killing a lot of people. And some of the people that Nobunaga is sending Yasuke to kill are people of Naoe. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Yeah. And she's essentially the daughter of a famous shinobi leader. But in this game, she's a fictitious character. Like she never existed. Like her father, who's like the famous shinobi guy, he existed, but she was created for this game. So that's why she has all these like ninja skills or whatever.
Okay.
So you have essentially those two competing sides who, in the trailer, you see it's no spoiler, they come together for a greater cause or greater good, I should say. And it seems that the greater good is the Assassin's Creed thing that joins us all together, apparently. So in the game, they talked about a couple of like new features that are going to be a part of this. Where did I put this on loop? I don't think I put this on loop. That's fine. Um, they talked about a couple of features in this game. Like there's going to be not dynamic. There's going to be seasons. So,
Yeah.
for example, in wintertime, you got snow everywhere. You have icicles on the rooftops. So if you're in LA and you're like running or stealthing on the roofs, the icicles can fall and attract people to have people look up at you, kind of stuff.
Mm.
That's pretty cool.
Next
Like in
gen.
summertime, the grass will grow and you can hide in the grass. But if you alert the enemies, they can walk over and like cut the grass. So that eliminates your cover. So it's like little ideas like that I think is really cool. But the typical questions of an Assassin's Creed game is how big is this game? How bloated is this game gonna be? Like,
I'm interested in it. What I'm wondering is it gonna be? I hate to say next gen only. It's current gen. It's been current gen for the past 4 years, but is it gonna
I know,
be
right?
current gen only
That's a
or
great question. I
current
actually
to last
don't
gen?
know if they even announced, or maybe they did.
They probably
Let me
did.
check. Let me check. Let me check.
They
I
probably
actually
did.
think, yeah, okay. So it's only going to be, I
Oh,
guess,
current gen only.
current gen and PC. So
Okay.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, which I think it's good because it's kind of about time. The only problem is that there are a ton of people still on PS4s, still on Xbox
Which is a story
One.
we'll get into in a minute.
Yep, yes, it is. So they are kind of losing out on profits on this, but I think if they're making that tech jump, then that makes sense. They'll stick it to current gen. But yeah, again, I'm also interested in this game. I think out of all the Assassin's Creed games I've seen in the past, it's the only one that's really had me like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Like I'm down for this, and of course I'm down for it playing as Yasuke. Like, yeah, easy. Let's go. So yeah,
Mm.
we'll see. Hopefully, we should see more of this at the Ubisoft Forward coming in a couple weeks for the whole Summer Game Fest extravaganza. So we should get to see more of this then. All right, number 8. So Sony had their fiscal year 2023-2024 earnings call, and Daniel Ahmad from on Twitter, who is a research analyst, he pulled up together a couple of highlights from this whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so essentially Helldivers 2, the first one is Helldivers 2
Mhm.
is Sony's fastest selling title ever. No one's really surprised by that, by how just massive of a launch it was. It sold 12 million units in 12 weeks, surpassing the
That is
record set
kind of
by
massive.
Battlefield. Say what?
That is kind of massive. I think that is
Oh yeah.
surprising for a game. I don't remember when the first Helldivers came out, but
Mhm.
this is different than the first game.
Yeah. I will say that this is this is surprising.
Hmm.
This is surprising before the launch. Like after the launch and like a week in, and just
Yeah.
seeing how it just exploded. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is actually going to be like a massive hit for PlayStation. And it
Hmm.
was, and it did super well. The one thing that is to note about this is that it was a massive hit because of PC. Like it,
Mm.
if PC was not included, I think it would have been like maybe like 20 in the top 25 games on PlayStation or whatever like that. So like PC was a super massive leg
You
up for
know
this
what?
game.
I'm looking at the first one,
Mhm.
and I am not surprised that Helldivers 2 is doing so well because this reminds me of the jump from GTA 2 to GTA 3. They took
Mhm.
everything that was working with GTA 1 and 2 and applied it in a fully 3D environment.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'll
And
say like the
yeah,
switch from isometric view to third person was like the best move they could have made, and it worked perfectly for them. Like, yeah, absolutely. Number two, the digital ratio for full game software sales on PlayStation platform reached 70% for the full year. So essentially, what this is saying is that 70% of the software sales of the
mhm,
video games that come on the PlayStation are digital. So people are using the PlayStation Store. I guess is it?
more.
Yeah, I guess that's the only place you can do that, right? You can buy the
Uh,
games
yeah,
digital.
the
Yeah.
pandemic
Okay.
accelerated the already existing shift to digital.
Yes.
I mean, you
Yeah.
used to be able to
So.
buy CD keys other places, but
Mhm.
eh,
Yeah. So yeah, as Sean said, like between 2029 or 2019 and 2020, it went from 53% of digital downloads to 65%. So, yeah, everyone was inside and was just like, well, I'm not going to go to the store because COVID might get me. So let me just go on this PlayStation store and download the game there. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's cool. That kind of just further pushes the whole like physical is kind of going away. Like these, first party publishers are pushing for that because they know that they can make more money in the digital space than they could in physical. On top of that, number three, this is the end of the cyclic profit slash loss console cycle. So in the past, declining software sales and high R&D costs would typically generate a loss in console launch years. To the PS4, the PS5 transition had higher margin digital content sales plus subscriptions equals higher profits. So essentially, what they're saying is that in the past, like the PS3 launch, there was a decline in game sales on top of how expensive it was to actually build out the console. That
yeah,
all just pushed to the consoles releasing at a loss. Whereas the PS4 launched because, well, I mean, anything launched after PS3 is going to be a positive for PlayStation because of just how ridiculous the PS3 was built. So the PS4 launched in a positive, and then or actually no, the PS4 launched in a less of a negative, and then the PS5 launched in a big positive in terms of like how much money they were making going from PS4 to PS5. Again, because PS5 is really and truly just PC. Like that's kind of what it is. A PC with like specialty parts.
yeah.
So yeah, and then you have the margin of digital content sales, which is DLC content, which is microtransaction content, and we all know that that is just completely killing. Like that is what all the publishers is pushing for. That's what they want because that makes so much money for them. On top of that, we have the subscriptions, and all this equals higher profits. And it's kind of weird to like talk all of this, and it's just like, oh, all this contributed to so much money growth, and they're like, oh, the we're in a decline of growth. We don't have growth, and it's just like, well, you had growth. You had a lot of growth. Just maintain, and not even maintain, but just like steady as shit. Like keep it pushing.
Yeah.
So yeah, number four, the PS5 has sold 59.2 million units as of March 31, 2024. This is slightly behind the PS4 in the same time frame, which was 60 million units. So they're only down by zero point 0.8 million. They don't expect the PS5 to surpass the PS4 in the next year. In other words, while console hardware sales are healthy, Sony is unable to sell more than the prior gen. There is something to be said about this because that's not exactly the case. That's why there's been a huge focus on increasing ARPU for console users and also embracing a beyond console strategy, which is PC. So ARPU stands for average revenue per unit.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, it's basically looking at like play time and how much money people are spending on the properties versus buying a
subscriptions
physical
and all
thing.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the I don't lost it. There it is. Okay. So the reason why I say Sony is unable to sell more than the prior gen. The thing that I kind of call out is the consoles aren't really going on sales as much as they
Yeah,
were like
as
in
as
the past.
Daniel Ahmad said, somebody asked him, didn't the PS4 have a price drop of $100 by then? It
Hmm.
did. All they did was release the PS5 Slim and then drop the price by $50. It's still a lot of money for a lot of people.
It is. It really is. It really is. Yeah, and like thank you for calling that out. It's a fact that like because PlayStation, we're talking about PlayStation right now. Because PlayStation sees that 70% of their their sales are happening digitally in their stores, they don't have to necessarily reduce the price of the PS5 because they see that they're making money. They're making money on subscriptions, they're making money in the DLC, all that stuff. So it's sort of like a push and pull where it's like, okay, well, we're kind of good here. Like, yeah, our console sales are down, but if we can generate money from the other places, then we can push the ship forward some more. And then there is the number five, which is PS5 shipped 4.5 million units in the last quarter. According to our estimates, that's almost 5 times more than the Xbox Series X/S shipped in the same period.
I had posted a similar story, but keep going.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that, but like this was kind of caught us. I was like, all right, well, that's fine. So yeah, essentially, what is happening is that yes, Xbox strategy is working. You can play Xbox games anywhere, so you don't really need
Ah,
an Xbox Series X/S.
I wouldn't say this is the a successful outcome of the Xbox strategy. This
No,
is
it's
not.
not. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say what?
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. Like it's terrible that the ratio is 5 to 1.
Like
Like
PS5 sales are down, and Xbox sales are down even more than that.
can you like it makes total sense that Phil Spencer's like, all right, well, we're gonna put our games on PlayStation because we are not selling consoles like,
We
at
just
all,
bought
apparently.
a $70 billion company, and no one's here to play these games.
Exactly. Like exactly. And that like, yeah, it's just I mean, again, we're this is PlayStation. This part is patient focused. So it's like, yeah,
Mm,
like, you know, the moral of the story is that like things are down, but it's being sort of balanced out with other avenues of revenue or whatever you want to call it with economic speak. So there's that. So yeah, so just to go back to the whole ARPU thing, um PlayStation is essentially changing how they think. Okay, so this is from Game Reactor, uh Jonas Maki. So
mm.
Sony says they are now measuring success in other ways than selling consoles. So essentially, this is a quote from them.
Sounds like
The
the same
business
shit
model,
Microsoft said.
I find it so fascinating that they are essentially chasing each other,
Mhm.
whereas PlayStation is like, all right, well, we're gonna look at like we're gonna focus on people playing these games, and
Yeah.
then Xbox is like, all right, well, we're gonna focus on AAA exclusive or AAA like big budget games. It's just like, all right, guys, neither of these things are working. Like, can we just calm down a little bit and just make good games? Can we just do that? But yeah, back to this article. So the business model up to and including the PS3 was focused on increasing the number of software units sold in relation to newly sold hardware for each console generation. After a transition period during the PS4 generation, the PS5 model has shifted to where playtime on platform has increased due to expansion of the user community beyond console generations. Due to this change in business model during the PS4 generation, I added an extra four there. We were able to significantly grow profits in this segment thanks to rapid digitalization and the expansion of network services. So basically, what they're saying is moving from PS4 to PS5,
Mhm.
they noticed that a lot of people was just spending their time in games like Fortnite and Call of Duty.
But I mean, this past generation is just an anomaly, and you can't really study that type of stuff. You can, but I mean, unless they're planning on letting loose COVID 20, COVID 25, whatever the hell, like these these studies are, you can't replicate that stuff.
Yeah.
Those are unprecedented times.
It's one of the things where it's like I feel that it's a very weird thing that the industry is so hyper focused on Fortnite and hyper focused on Call of Duty, where it's just like, why don't you just make the good games? If you make the good games, people would buy the good
Look at
games,
like
and then
Helldivers.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like no one was paying Helldivers any mind. And then Helldivers dropped and became the biggest thing on the internet for like months. And it's just like, no, we still got to focus on Fortnite. We still got to focus on Call of Duty. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you don't really got to do that. Like, you just don't really have to do that. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Um,
Moving on.
So yeah, there's another quote. As we enter the second half of the console cycle, we expect the number of new PS5 units sold to gradually decline. However, by steadily maintaining and expanding our consistently increased number of active users and user engagement, while also strengthening control over business costs, we believe that we'll be able to steadily increase the sales and profits of the PS platform going forward. So these statements come from where's the person? Uh, Sadahiko Hayakawa. Yeah, Hayakawa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, he's the financial general manager for Sony. Um, so yeah, essentially they're saying that they're going to essentially push live service platforms, kind of games of service kind of things,
Hmm.
to essentially, as I was saying earlier, they're finding different ways to increase or maintain profits while console sales are declining. Cool. I mean, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's another part about this that I want to bring up. Oh, we are. Ooh.
Yeah, we're running low.
Um, yeah. So, 50% of 118 million PlayStation users sticking with PS4 despite PS5 launch.
I
So,
mean,
just kind of goes into
this ain't a long thing. I was just gonna say this shit is just still expensive. I see a lot of people saying it's $450 to $500. That's a lot.
yeah, exactly. Like people everything is more expensive now and no one really has the time to sit and buy these new consoles, especially if they're playing Fortnite or Call of Duty where they can play it on the old consoles and it's fine. It works fine. So yeah, it like and also to note that these numbers where it's 118 million PlayStation users,
Yeah.
that's not PlayStation Plus. That's just people with the PSN account. So that's like a different number. So
That
yeah,
there just needs to be the next big thing that's only on current or next gen consoles to force
yeah.
people off of Xbox One and PS4.
Exactly. And like that's why they just need to push these games that
And
aren't coming out on the old generation.
really, unless Microsoft does something, you don't need. I don't think you need an Xbox Series. Is there anything that you can't play on the Xbox One that's on the Xbox Series X? I think
As
maybe
far as
one game.
I think there was some limitations for a few games where like it doesn't work on this Xbox One, but it works on the Series S and X. I think
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, it is a thing of they need to start going to I guess next gen games. But then, if you do that, you are leaving a lot of money on the table with those people who still have the old generation of consoles because there's a boatload of consoles out there for them. So yeah, and also this article from Tech for Gamer, the 50 of 100 million PlayStation users, that comes to us by way of Salman Farid.
Mhm.
Okay, so and then the last thing is that like PlayStation is going to essentially give an update to like, what their future looks like. And it looks like that's going to come to us by way of PlayStation Showcase and probably like a business meeting thing that they have for the investors. So again, we should be getting some kind of showcase soon. Please, please. So number 9, this is going to be quick. Microsoft to make changes to Xbox Game Pass tiers because of Call of Duty. It's claimed. This comes to us from Insider Gamer by way of Insider Gaming by way of Mike Straw. So essentially, as the title suggests, Microsoft is going to more than likely either increase Game Pass, create another tier of Game Pass, because the rumor is that in actuality, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is going to come to Game Pass, which is what they need to do because Game Pass is not in a good way right now, and Xbox itself is not in a good way right now. So a win that they can have is having the next Black Ops game on Game Pass, which is what they're going to do. As it is right now, the Xbox Game Pass Core, which is the lowest tier you can jump into, that's $9.99 a month. Then you have Game Pass PC, which is Game Pass for PC. That's also $9.99 a month. Then you have Game Pass Ultimate, which covers both console and PC. That's $16.99 a month. If they add another tier, I feel like the tier they're going to add is going to be probably like a 25, like a, I guess, $24.99 a month kind of thing. And that's going to be like a Game Pass Ultimate Call of Duty thing, where it is like you get Call of Duty day and date, and then you get like maybe X number of skins or blueprints kind of thing, where it kind of ties in better with a Call of Duty player kind of thing, where they're not spending the $70 on the game, but then they're kind of spending the $25 a month for this one game that they're playing. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on this?
I can see people just throwing their money at it and not even thinking about it. So I mean, only they have the numbers to know if they can charge the type of money. Maybe they can, and
Yeah.
maybe people will pay that to play Call of Duty for free, quote unquote. I don't know, man.
Yeah. When do you think we'll see? Do you think we'd see this now?
What,
Like
the tier
in this
Call of
whole like
Duty's here?
no, like them actually like saying like, hey, look, we're gonna release this new tier of Game Pass. Like, do you think they'll do that now in this like Summer Game Fest time, or
Oh,
do you think they
definitely,
do
most
it like?
definitely. When they have the
You
most
think
eyes
so?
on it, and they'll have the most criticism, and then it'll have time for the criticism to die down, and then people still spend their money because
Yeah.
people just talk a lot of
That's it.
bullshit.
That's actually a good point. Like, because it does give them a good amount of time for the people to kind of just forget about this whole thing. Because Black Ops 6 isn't coming out until like October,
Mhm.
I think. Whereas I was thinking more so they just don't talk about this now and then wait until later. But
Nah, they can't spring it
if
on people. Uh,
yeah, that's a
if
good
if
point.
you remember the discourse between last year's game and uh the short ass single player campaign, that's gonna piss people off. I'm playing
Oh, for Hellblade.
Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
I
so
I
you
I
gotta
can't
give
wait
them time
because
to separate the two pieces of bad news because I'm sure
yeah,
Black Ops story is gonna be cool or whatever, but
it's gonna be short too. It's
it's
gonna be
gonna be
short
like
and
I'm
it's
paying $20 to high dollars a month to play this. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be short and it's also gonna use the same
mind
kind
you,
of open world mechanics that people hated from Modern Warfare 2.
mind you,
So
I'm curious. I wonder how much of the Call of Duty population just spends time in shipment and Rust. You're gonna pay $25, $20 a month to like
just
Warzone
for
is
those
free,
modes.
sure. But damn, hold on. You had to pay. Was Warzone 2 free? I think it was.
Yeah. And that's another thing about this is that Warzone is free. So it's like if I'm spending all my time in Warzone, why am I even paying for this?
Because
Like
most
there's
people
there's
get Call of Duty and just play goddamn Rust and level up their guns. You're gonna pay
mhm.
money monthly for that? When I
That's
don't
a
see
good point.
people. I don't see people getting Game Pass just to play Call of Duty when.
Or you know what? I see
Yeah.
people. I think if you want to min max this, get you get Game Pass for like 2 months. You play, you level up your guns, and you drop
Mhm.
Game Pass, and you just continue on Warzone. Because it's just like if I'm just using it to level up my guns, and yeah, I'll just use level up my guns, and then that's it. And then like whenever they do like a content drop or whatever,
Mhm.
you just buy Game Pass. I guess that actually might end up being a bit more money down the line. But before you get to $70, you just buy Game Pass and then you just level up your guns and you drop Game Pass again. You just do that. But yeah, like it. I don't know. I think like this is a thing that they need to do. I just hope it works out. I hope it works out in a way where people don't feel like they're being taken advantage of. So we'll see. Number 10. Microsoft boss reportedly pushes for no red line around which Xbox games launch on PlayStation. This comes to us from Eurogamer.net by way of Tom Phillips. So, Windows Central states that the plan to launch more Xbox games on PlayStation and Nintendo consoles, an operation dubbed Latitude, has sparked debate and unease within the company at whether this move makes sense. Uh, Publicly, Xbox has suggested it is testing the waters with the 4 games launched so far, multi-platform titles that could benefit from more players, like Sea of Thieves and Grounded, as well as smaller titles that have already reached the majority of their likely audience on Xbox, like RIP, Hi-Fi Rush, and Pentiment, which is still around. But privately, Microsoft is reportedly pushing for no red line at all which games Xbox will eventually launch on PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. They keep saying Nintendo. That is well, those games are on Nintendo right now, right?
They have a few on there. I don't remember
Okay.
which, but
Yeah.
they got a couple.
Okay. In a bid to increase margins. Eurogamer understands numerous other games are under consideration, including titles in the company's largest franchises, i.e., Starfield, i.e., Halo, i.e., Gears of War, i.e., Marvel's Blade. Do you remember that? Remember how I
Mhm.
was like, man, it's really weird that that game, the trailer doesn't have any kind of like Xbox exclusivity tag on it at all, and it's just like seems kind of weird to me. Turns out, probably wasn't weird at all. They just had this plan going a long time ago. So yeah, it's one of
You
those
hear that,
things
Jordan?
where
No, go ahead.
right? It's one of those things where it's just like it's very we have to make it clear that this is Microsoft coming down on Xbox saying that there is no red lines on which games Xbox and which Xbox games goes on PlayStation. So this isn't Phil Spencer's choice. This is Satya Nadella's like coming down and saying like, "Hey, Xbox needs to make money."
I done
And
gave you this allowance money. You better go make me something.
that's exactly what it is. Like Xbox or Microsoft is looking at Xbox now that they have spent so much of Microsoft money acquiring these platforms, and they're like, okay, you need to start making money. Where's the money? There's no money. Oh, you got video games that you can actually sell on other people's platforms and make money off of that. You're gonna do that. It feels like a well, it kind of betrays the brand of Xbox, and Satya's like, I don't care. So I don't know. I think us as PlayStation players, it's like okay, that's cool. Like for you, Sean, what do you think is like? Is there any game that is in the Xbox catalog that you are waiting for to come to PlayStation?
Cameo. So now, maybe like Sunset Overdrive, and that's only because
Hmm.
Naughty Dog made that. But I mean, I don't know. I've played Halo. I'm not interested in Halo. I've played Gears. It's okay to me. I'm done with racing games.
Yeah, yeah.
Redfall was trash. I'm not in Bethesda games. Like, even when I had an Xbox 360, I don't think I bought any of the exclusive games. I got Forza because that was a pack-in game along with
Hmm.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I think the name of the game was like. I really only got it because it was cheaper and it came out on the market first.
Yeah, like I am along the same lines that I'm on the same lines as you are. Like in terms
Mhm.
of, I think the only game that I like can say that I would be interested in playing is Sunset Overdrive. Like Gears doesn't really appeal to me. I played a little bit of it before. I thought it was okay. Halo again, like at one point in my life, I was really big on the Halo, but I've I've kind of moved past that, and like my first person shooter now is just Call of Duty. If I jump on that, I'll just play that. So like I don't really have a space in my heart for Halo right now. Maybe if they do something cool in the future, maybe. But then again, like there's Destiny, and I think that Destiny is a better Halo.
Mhm.
Bungie. Um, Games like Pentiment don't really appeal to me all that much. Hi-Fi Rush I think is cool as a concept, but I even it's on PlayStation now and I didn't buy it. There's there's nothing really in the catalog that I'm just like, all right, cool. I can't wait till that comes to PlayStation. And I think
Yeah.
I don't know if we are the outliers or if we are unfortunately the majority of PlayStation players. We're just like, all right, well, we don't really like if there was a game that was cool, we would have bought the console or got Game Pass for PC or something and played the game. But like it doesn't seem like that's happening. So I don't know. I mean, I think maybe Starfield. Okay. I think games in the future will be more enticing to the PlayStation audience versus now. So
Mhm.
hopefully that works out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to get Avowed this year, get Indiana Jones this year, and I think there's another game that I just can't remember. But anyways, so yeah, well, I feel like this Summer Game Fest this year is going to be a very interesting year in terms of all these games coming out and exactly where they come out to and when they come out to these other platforms. But yeah, we'll see. Um, to end off, we will do a couple of quick hits. Number 11, Activision opens new studio tasked with creating narrative based AAA franchises. This comes to us from IGN by way of. Wait a minute. It's loading. Boy, is it loading. Oh, it's taking its sweet time to load. This is loaded to ad. That's what it did. Thank you. Thank you, computer. Cat Bailey. So yes, the studio is named Elsewhere Entertainment. This is they're gonna be under Activision. I think this is cool, like, a narrative based genre defining AAA game. Cool. Cool. Everyone always has something to say when they, announce their company or their
Yeah.
studio. The only unfortunate part is that last week Microsoft shut down 4 studios. But it is to note that, Xbox gaming is such a big like cloud of studios where it's like one wing, which is the Bethesda wing, had the layoffs, have the shutdown last week, whereas Activision is a completely different wing, and they are doing well enough to have this new studio open up that's going to make a narrative based AAA game that's not going to be in the Call of Duty like era ethos kind of thing. So it's going to be a completely different game, which is cool. I don't think there's definitely we're not going to see anything from this probably not until next year. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see for that to see exactly what they're producing. And it's also to know that Perfect Dark is a game that was supposed to be a quadruple A game that is not doing great. Hopefully we'll see something from that this Game Fest era or whatever. Number 12, Ubisoft cancels the Division Heartland. This comes to us from IGN by way of um again loading IGN. What he okay, Rebecca Valentine. Uh, yeah. So this is kind of weird. Ubisoft has canceled its up and coming free to play shooter Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. Amidst larger plans to focus on resources on bigger opportunities such as X Defiant and Rainbow Six. Sean, how do you feel about this?
So as you know, the readers don't know, but I played
Mhm.
Heartland maybe 3 or 4 times. Um, it was pretty much. It felt like it was pretty much finished. I think they were saying that it wasn't a sure thing. I don't see why. I think the division. I'm not sure what the division numbers look like right now, but I mean, I think that was
Hmm.
still a healthy franchise, and they had done a
Yeah,
lot of the work already. And I also played X Defiant, and I would have rather. I think it would have been more fun to bullshit around with your friends in the division heartland than that's a PVE VP versus straight up PvP with X Defiant.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I feel like they missed the mark here, but what the hell do I know?
Yeah, I think this is a kind of a weird Ubisoft move. It's like Division is a well-established IP. They're
Yeah,
making a free-to-play version of this game that people can jump in. It's new, people can jump in. Instead, they're focusing on Rainbow Six, which is an established IP, doing well, and X Defiant, which is another first-person shooter that people aren't really looking to. Like I've looked up X Defiant stuff to like, kind of get a feel for it, and it's just like no one's really talking about this game. The people who are talking about this game are they kind of feel like they are just dedicated to this game,
yeah.
and that kind of feels like okay, well, are you guys working under Ubisoft or like are you partnering with Ubisoft to do this
Is
kind of
X
content
Defiant
kind of
out
thing?
now?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I think like something came out recently for it in terms of
Oh
like
shit,
a
that joint's supposed to
beta.
come out in 2 days.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Ubisoft and X Defiant. I hope that game does
Didn't even know.
well.
I didn't even know.
I have
I
not
I,
one
I guess
article about that game coming out in 2 days. That is
I guess we'll
crazy.
see when it actually releases, and we'll give it another go. We'll give it another go,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't remember insanely enjoying my time with it. So
yeah, yeah. Whatever. If it's free, I'll give it a shot and see, and we
yeah,
can
it's
talk
free.
about it
It's
next
free.
week. Okay. Well then, perfect. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for the quick hits. Let us quickly talk about the games we have been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
Real quickly, I played Tunic because it came out on PlayStation Plus. I beat it. The good
Hmm.
ending and the bad ending. I just
Hmm.
need to maybe do like two more things to get the platinum. It's Legend of Zelda inspired.
Yeah.
Turns pretty dark as you go on further in the game.
Oh shit.
It starts out you're this cute little fox in a green tunic with a sword and a shield, and then it turns into spoiler alert. I mean, this game is old.
Yeah.
You're praying at these in different points of the game to these
Yeah.
pillars, only to see that there's a factory stuffing other fox beings in these pillars that you're praying at. And
Whoa.
then
Whoa.
there comes a point where you're underground and you see there's like the factory just making like it just goes on forever. Like how
Oh
many
my
of these
god.
things they're making. It takes a turn once it looks like one thing and it turns into something else. This is a strange game.
Yeah. That's
Um
insane.
but it was an enjoyable play.
Okay.
And then Balatro, of course. I beat
Hmm.
the first run of Balatro, but being that it's a roguelike game, the joy in the game is not you beat it once, but I mean you play it more to unlock all the different
Yeah.
variables, power ups, and whatever. So I'm still
Hmm.
playing that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I ain't been playing much.
Yeah. So on my side, I last week I said I was playing Animal Well. I beat Animal Well. I beat it one time. If people who've played Animal Well know that, like once you beat it, there's more stuff to do. Um, I had a overall I had a good time with that game. There was a lot. There was a couple of sticking points where I literally just said, "Screw it! I'm just gonna look this up because I don't have the
Mhm.
time to sit here and just like poke around to like find out what I'm supposed to do." I think okay. So I'm in terms of puzzle games.
Mhm.
I generally like puzzle games, but it's a weird thing of for me, those games are great until you are in a situation where you have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
then it's just like, all right, well, this kind of sucks. Like, there's not even like a hint at like what I'm supposed to do. And one of the things I got stuck with was there was an item that you have. I used the item before, and apparently I was supposed to go back and get that item and use it in another place. And like it was just like I just didn't realize like that was all that I was supposed to do that because like
Mm,
the way this game works is that it is so it doesn't hold your hand at all, which is fine, which is great. But you know you can run into situations where you're just like I honestly don't know how I'm supposed to do this to finish this game. But I ended up doing that. That actually triggered a really, really cool chase scene that had you running from this entity essentially from point A to point B. And it kind of tested your knowledge of the map. It tested like your platforming abilities. It was a really cool like situation it put you in. But
yeah.
like just to get to that was like kind of difficult. And then I had to deal with the last boss or whatever. That was another sticking point for me where I felt like I felt in a similar way that I felt like when I played Viewfinder at the end of that. Like, you're doing these things, you're solving these puzzles, and the game is kind of, you know, teaching you like how to uh play the game in a way, right? But then
Yeah.
the last the last set piece, the last boss you fight, at least for Viewfinder, it was like you had to do like a essentially like a obstacle course to like beat it, and it just felt like this doesn't feel good. Like this is kind of a dumb way of ending this game that like I had a really good time in, and I feel like with Animal Well, I had similar feelings where it's just like you have to hit these buttons while dodging these like laser beams from this entity that you're like dodging essentially because you can't attack, you don't get any attacks, so you just have to not get hit. And I got to a point where I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna run through this thing. Like I kind of have a sense of their like mechanics or whatever, but it didn't feel like too much of a big accomplishment because at that point I was just annoyed by the whole thing. So it was like, all right, this is fine. And then you beat the game. The reveal at the end is pretty cool. Confusing. A lot of that game is confusing. And it was like, all right, well, I got to play more of this to actually like figure out like what is actually happening in this game. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this down and go play Gundam. And I've picked it up once or twice, but I just haven't really felt the urge to actually really like sit down and like dive in it deeper. So I'm probably not going to. I don't know what's next in terms of games coming out, but I don't know. I don't even feel like I'm gonna play Stellar Blade either. I kind of drop off of that to play Animal Well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back to that, but we'll see.
It is what it is.
X Defiant might be the thing that I'm like, oh my god, this game is great, guys. Turns out Ubisoft was right about this game. They should have completely dropped the Division Heartland for this game. It's amazing, guys. Screw Call of Duty. No, probably not
Interesting.
gonna happen. But yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what we've been playing. And that's it for the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, like over there. Hit the like button. Please do us a solid. It's really easy. You just gotta press the thing. Simple. Yes, and then hit the notification bell when you subscribe because that will tell you when we have our future episodes, and you want to be there for the future of our future. Yes, the future. If you are listening and you didn't hear or you didn't watch any of this, one, shame on you. No, it's okay. Leave us a review though on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, whatever thing you're using to listen to us through your ears. And then join our Discord, pressx2start.com/Discord. Next time we'll probably be talking about X Defiant. I don't think Summer Game Fest isn't going to hit yet, so whatever news that we get, we'll talk about and let you know what happened because we are here for you. And I think that's about it.
Coolio.
So yeah, you take care, you be safe, and you have a good time. Okay.
I don't know. I played that song for Sean.
What song is it?
Mr. Sand, the old white people song. That's fucked up. Let me not say that. The old song, Mr. Sandman, Mr. Sandman,
Oh, okay,
bring me
okay.
a dream. Yeah.
Yeah.